welcome back. Today we're going to talk about pesto. Right now, since it's summer, basil is in full bloom, especially in our garden. So we have a lot of recipes we use with basil right now, and one that I found that I've loved is pesto. Pesto is something that you can make ahead. It freezes really well, and you can use it in a lot of different recipes to have some quick and easy throw together meals, especially for right now when a lot of us are at home making multiple meals and multiple snacks per day. So this is all the basil plant we have. We have a lot. So today we're going to go ahead and pick out 4 cups of basil because we're going to do 2 different types, one with walnuts. Good job, bud. We're going to do 4 cups, and Bodhi really wants you to see the really big piece of basil. Do you want to try that and make sure it tastes really basil-y and okay? So we're getting 2 cups for the pine nut basil, and then we'll get another 2 cups for the walnut basil.
It's sour but fine.
It's sour? Is that maybe the lemon basil?
It is. It's so good. The biggest.
I'm going to make 2 variations today. One is with the classic recipe of pine nuts, and the other one is walnuts. I've found some recipes that show you can actually put in walnuts as a substitute for pine nuts, just because pine nuts aren't as easy to find as walnuts are. So it's something that I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it out. I've never done that before, but if it works out, that's going to be great. Pesto, this recipe that I'm using is actually from the Spruce Eats. They call for 2 cups of basil, which if you're buying it from the grocery store, it's usually just 1 large bunch. So you're going to throw in 2 cups of basil. They call for 3 cloves of garlic. I do like to use the bigger cloves of garlic, mostly because I really like garlic. Throw that in the food processor. So for this one, we're actually going to first go with the pine nuts. So that was about a 1/2 cup of pine nuts. Oops, you didn't see that. We're going to go ahead and put it in the food processor. And what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and blend it together. So you'll want to blend it until it's a coarse paste, kind of like that. Still kind of chunky. Took maybe about 2 to 3 minutes of blending it with the food processor. So what you'll want to do, you'll take it out. You can go ahead and scrape it into a bowl. We have, I think, about 6 basil plants, so it's a lot. If you have like that or even more, you can probably do a lot more pesto than this, but this is a good amount for topping on a fish or pasta. We're going to spread it in some pita pockets tonight with some meatballs and tabbouleh, a little bit of eggplant sauteed on top. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it. So what we're going to do is we have this paste, and then we want to go ahead and measure about a 1/2 cup of olive oil. So that's about there. I am just going to eyeball it in here just to get the right consistency. So this is the paste before. Hold that up to you. And then we're going to put a little bit of olive oil. And then you want about 3/4 of a cup of cheese. So you want to mix that up. I admit I probably should have used a much bigger bowl, but since I'm here, I'm just going to commit to it. It does smell really, really good. And then you can put a little bit of salt on the top just for taste. We have the first pesto. It's got a little bit of the chunkies. We're going to blend the basil for the walnut pesto because I want to actually try them side by side. All right, so we have our pine nut nut pesto in this bowl, and we have our walnut pesto in this bowl. So it's time for a quick taste test to taste the difference between the two. Everyone took my spoons in the house, but I found two. All right, so we're gonna start with the pine nut pesto. And just a word, if you like it smoother and creamier, you can just add more olive oil. I know my husband likes it a little creamier. I like it on the chunky side because I like throwing it into pasta and having those little chunks to eat. So that one's a good pine nut pesto. Tastes like a classic pesto to me. Let's try this guy. That tastes really good too. But you have to like the flavor of walnuts. And I really like the flavor of walnut. So that's actually a really, really good one. It offsets the garlic a little bit. I did add a little more garlic than what 3 cloves of garlic would be. I purposely used the big chunky pieces. I like garlic. If you don't like garlic as much, maybe stick to the small ones. The walnuts do take away a little bit from the garlic flavor, which some people like. I kind of like it, even though I do like garlic. The pine nuts are the classic pesto flavor that I'm used to without that garlicky flavor. And then what you want to do is you want to either freeze this, or you can top it on pasta or your dinner, which we're going to do probably with the walnuts tonight. I am going to use these containers. These are actually from when my boys were babies. I would make their baby food and puree it in these Ween Green containers. And then they were perfect because they're glass. So I'd dump a bunch straight into the freezer. And then as I needed them, they could come out and easily be defrosted, microwave right away, so that they would be easier and faster to feed. I've read that some people put them in to ice cube trays, the pesto. Funny enough, for as much kitchen equipment as I have, I don't have ice cube trays. Should probably get some, because you put them in the ice cube trays and then you can store them in a freezer safe bag. And then when you need them for any sort of recipes, you just kind of either pop them on the stovetop, in the oven, or in the microwave, just to get them ready. Pesto freezes really well for about 6 months. So that is the pesto recipe. Hopefully I can help you make your meal planning, prepping, feeding easier with these recipes. Go ahead and let me know different things you like to do with pesto. If you like to top fish with it, or chicken, any recipes that you recommend, I'd love to try them out. Go ahead and give this video a like if you enjoyed what you saw, and if you want to keep up with me more, hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram for more recipes and tips. And I will see you next time.